First up on the floor we have Georgia Rose Brown. She competed as a junior in last year's Pacific Rim Championships in Melbourne, and this is her first outing as a senior.
First line there, ran off flip double pike. Not a bad landing, a little bit of a hop, very well controlled.
You might note that she has vocals in her floor routine music. This is now allowed as long as it's not words that are identifiable. Her second tumbling pass, handspring, front double twist into a stag jump. Again, that bonus for the jump out of the tumbling pass. And the memel turn.
Just completes the double on that. Going for the next tumbling line. Ran off 1.5 punch front. Into another very well controlled tumbling.
Change half. Nicely controlled. Almost didn't make it all the way around there. Final pass.
Ran off, flip, double back, a little bit low with that landing, and finishing in a split there.
Nice routine from Georgia. Next on name is Harriet Adcock. She's a national level 10 gymnast from Jets.
Starting with a side salt, tuck position, a little bit uncontrolled on that landing. Okay, looks like she's going straight into dismount.
Gain a pike salt with a large step and landing there.
Yes.
This is Delon Wilson from Knox Gymnastics. He's a national level 9 gymnast and will be competing for Victoria in the national championships in July.
That kick cross was a little bit high there, Mel.
Oh, it was an uprise there, Pete.
Uprise, sorry, front uprise to cross. Into a Felga to L.
Then time straight body press to handstand. A little bit wobbly on the handstand there.
Giant to handstand, a little bit of an arm bend there.
Doesn't get the bonus for that because of the bend times.
And double back dismount stuck. And for his level, he actually gets a 0.1 bonus for a stuck dismount.
Next up on B, we have Ashleigh Brennan from the Women's High Performance Centre. Back handspring step out, back layout step out. A little bit of a wobble on landing there. But that'll only be about 0.1.
Nice aerial there. And a side summy, no connection there. A little bit of a wobble on that side salt.
A lot of the girls now are doing just a single full turn just to get their compulsory element out of the way with as minimal deductions as possible. And she looks like she's preparing for her dismount.
Round off double pike, nice height, very well controlled landing.
It's a good routine for Ashleigh. And next on bars is Georgia Wheeler from MLC.
Starting with a Weiler, a little bit of a pike.
Didn't quite hit her handstand there either. Toe on Shaposhnikova into a clear hip to handstand. Into a Kachev.
Not quite in that handstand position there.
And Solder into the shoot over half turn.
Still not quite making those handstands. Giant full bit of a leg separation there. Winding off the dismount, double out.
And
quite low on that dismount.
With a large hop.
Now Jaden Bull on P-bars from the Men's High Performance Centre in Victoria. Starting with a Yamawaki to support, swinging to handstand. There's a few deductions there for those hand movements. Felga to handstand, giant.
Felga to handstand, push out a little early.
Suarez there.
Again, some more hand movements from Jaden. Into the Healy, and Healy to upper arm, cut through straddle, swing to handstand. Again, some more 0.1 hand movements there.
The stood's not quite controlled. The front uprise, swing handstands to get back on position. And a double pike dismount, a little bit low and a large step on that dismount.
But not a bad routine. Next up we have Prashant Solaruthai on men's pommel. He's the current World Cup champion on this event.
Starting scissor, well, not quite up to handstand there. A little bit of muscle showing.
Russian 1080 between the handles and a circle between the handles.
Then we have a Stockley loop on one handle, which is quite a difficult combination, into a Magyar on the leathers outside the handles.
Into a Wuguanyan.
Into another 1080 Russian on the leathers, which is a different skill.
To the ones between the handles.
Exactly, no?
And going into the Magyar, still has beautiful form through the Savado. And I think just dismount, yep.
Yep, Stockley handstand with a 3-on-3 travel. Very clean routine, apart from the very beginning with that handstand. Still very, very nice to watch Prashant.
And I think everyone's pretty happy with that routine. So we have Luke Wadsworth now from the Men's High Performance Centre on parallel bars. We should see a nice clean routine from him.
They'll go to handstand, not quite up into that handstand position. Underswing, Yamawaki, bit of a bent arm catch there.
And an extra swing for not making that handstand.
Giant to handstand, more to support.
Much better handstand control here.
A little bit of a hand movement there.
Healy.
Healy. Forwards pivot into a
To pelt. Close to hitting the bars on that to pelt too. Into Stutz.
To handstand, a little bit of an armband. 1 3/4 front, a little bit slow in that rotation.
I think we'll be preparing for dismount now.
And double pike dismount. There's a hand touch there. Not the best routine we've seen Luke do.
And he doesn't look particularly happy with it either. Next up on rings is Breece Newton from the Men's High Performance Centre.
Starting with a slow indicate.
Breece has had some major injuries recently, and he's preparing for the World Uni Game Trials.
Started with a Yamawaki, back up rise to straddle planche, into his L-sit position.
He was quite high on that straddle planche in his hip position.
Not quite held that planche there. Giant to handstand, bit of an arch in the back.
Into the Johansson, and then uprise to straddle out. Looked like his bottom was a little bit high. He was going for a planche or something there.
Yes. Into his L-sit. Got a bit of a swing on the rings.
Bent arm, bent body, press to handstand. That was quite clean.
Giant through handstand, double tuck with a full turn, and a large step on the dismount. Not a bad routine from Breece.
I'm here with Jacqui Godfrey, the Events Director for Gymnastics Victoria. Jacqui, can you tell me what role you play in the organisation of an event like the Victorian Championship?
Well, the Victorian Championship starts and it's planning 12 months out from the event. We sit down with our technical committees from each gym sport and nut out the schedule of events and what their needs are for competitions throughout the year. From there, we take all those requirements and we plan our events. So we look after everything from the venue, the equipment, the ticketing for the event, the scheduling of the event, and everything in between. We have a number of volunteers, so there's over 50 volunteers that contribute to an event like Victorian Championship.
And what's the quality of gymnastics like at the moment in Victoria?
Gymnastics is looking really good in Victoria. We have 17 members on our current Gymnastics Australian senior national squads for men and women, and we have a number of promising juniors also in squads that are coming up at the moment, so we're really pleased with the talent.
And can we expect to see some Victorians on the men's and women's Olympic teams in London next year?
Certainly hope so. The gymnasts are still on their path to London and the selection process hasn't yet begun. But we do have a number of athletes in the current Gymnastics Australia Olympic squad as well. And that puts those competitors in a really good position to push for a place on the team.
And what's Gymnastics Victoria doing to grow the sport across the state?
Well, our focus is highly on our clubs. They're the face of our sport and they're the ones that deliver the programs to our participants.
So if somebody's interested in gymnastics, what can they do to get started?
The best place to go is the Gymnastics Victoria website, www.gymnasticsvictoria.org.au. On there's a club search function, so you just put in your postcode and it will bring up all the clubs that are closest to you.
And is it ever too late to take up gymnastics?
Definitely not. We have everyone from the youngest competitors to teenagers and adults that all engage in our sport.
Next time on Gymnastics Victoria, we'll have the state's very best in aerobics from the Flemington Events Centre, and from the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre, Sports Acrobatics and the Australian Showdown Championships. We'll also be talking to one of cheerleading's rising stars on how they juggle training and school life. See you then.